Welcome to the channel rather dubiously called Rufioh. I'm the best Yu-Gi-Oh tuber in my street, a very average player who uses this platform to trick you into thinking I'm good at and capable of playing Yu-Gi-Oh on any kind of level at all. Before we get started, why don't you hit subscribe for me, even if it's not because you secretly enjoy bad content, but because you pity me. I need every bit of help I can get.
Hi guys, it's Joe here from Rufioh. Got another one of the Bedford Boys back again. You may have seen his Tenyi profile earlier on the channel, the first iteration, which did really well for views, so hopefully some of you are coming back for round 2 with his updated deck profile. How are you feeling about the deck?
Runs a lot better.
Yeah.
Thankfully with a new support it's got in Chaos Impact, the new level 7 just turboed it out a lot better, more synchro plays, and it just makes it a little bit easier to get over current meta situations, because I was finding some parts of the older deck were just running a bit flat.
Yeah.
So playing some tournaments was going 3-1 with them, but then when you came against some of the meta, it was just flattened.
How do you feel about its position in the meta at the moment?
Oh, it's nowhere near the tiers. Nowhere near the tiers. But possibly Rogue, only because the cards themselves tend to just recycle and just kind of float.
Yeah.
So much better. Now that they've got another monster in the main deck. So when you do get interrupted, you do lose your plays, you can at least build yourself up a bit more.
Okay.
Which I'm tending to find when I played it again. Again, I think I played 3 times of it, gone 3-1 again with it out of 4, which ain't too bad. And then a lot of the time there have been some more Orcus players in there, and Salamangreats and other things, and the meta it tends to do a little bit better against now.
I think there is an awful lot of people as well who don't necessarily understand how the deck works as well.
No, and there's one card in here that I've added 2 spicy texts in this as well, which tend to help out a little bit better.
Okay.
Which is good.
Awesome, cool. So shall we get stuck in?
Yeah, let's go.
Cool, talk us through it then.
Okay, so main deck looks very similar to what it did before. A few changes. I don't like the fact that these have come out in Super because it's ruined the whole rare look about it, but free for shooter, everyone knows what this card does.
Yeah.
It's just a really good guide to just interrupt their players, get in your turn, just bounce their card back to their hand. Stop things going off. Again, with this guy, everyone knows what this guy does.
Yeah. They're like the 2 best ones, right?
Yeah, the 2 best ones. And then I think the next one coming up is along with like the top 3. And there's probably a 4th one that I really love, because I completely misread one of them and I was misplaying it for a little while, and I was like, actually no, you're a lot better than I thought. So this one is the one that reoccurs your banished monsters. So it takes your Tenyis that you've already banished, so you can play your Vishuda on one turn, get your monk out, banish it, and then special summon this, send this to the grave, recycle, and then just keep recycling back in.
Okay.
But yeah, everyone knows what Adara does. And now that there's more synchro cards that I can use in this deck, being a tuner just helps out a lot better, because this is an instant.
And level 1 Earth tuners are always going to be useful.
Yeah, always going to be useful. I mean, even if you've got no place to start off with, you can at least go into a Linkaribo and then kind of work your way around.
Certainly.
And then this is the new guy, which has changed the way the deck runs.
Okay.
This guy is a banish and then special summon direct from deck.
Okay.
So you
summon
can,
from deck's always nice.
Yeah, so you can basically just make your monk, have this guy engrave, banish out. You can then start to build either. You can go into synchros, you can go into shamans, depending on the situation you're faced with. Because obviously Berserker of the Tenyi is really good. Things like Boral Load Savage are really good, but depending on what you're against, you sometimes want to get your normal, your non-effect monsters out to stop all the plays going on.
Yeah.
Because it is all about situational things, and this just gives you another kind of out to a situation. It's also good sometimes to bait out an Ash as well.
Do you think this can be difficult to play with having so many options, like lines of play?
I've not had too many options, because the way I've gone about it, it's either you kind of go down the track and it's 2 ways. You either go into your synchro spamming, or you go into your non-effect road, which tends to help against a lot more of the meta, whereas the synchro is just kind of more to get yourself to have an advantage on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to find that with this deck there are 2 tracks to take.
Okay, so it's not too bad then.
It's not too bad, but it's just literally situational of which way you want to go, and the fact that it doesn't. Sometimes you'll play a deck and then you go down the road, but then you've only got one option.
Yeah, of
Where
course.
at least with this now you can kind of go, okay, I can go this way or this way.
Yep.
And again, like I said, if you do get interrupted, you've got so many plays you can do.
Yep.
This card I completely misread. I did not read the second effect there. Basically, when your non-effect monster on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from the grave, special summon that non-effect monster, and then destroy one card on the field your opponent controls.
Okay.
I could destroy one I completely forgot about.
Ah,
Didn't read
okay.
it. I just went
It's
ahead.
non-target as well.
Yeah,
or-
non-target. No, I think it does target. Let me just. Yeah, it does target.
Ah, okay,
It does target, which isn't
still.
as. But yeah, it's still one of those things where you can. It gives your opponent a lot more to think about, because the more of these you have in the grave or in your hand,
It gives you a nice
more
reactive
protection,
option,
yeah.
right?
So that's those 3. I've then gone down to 2 of this, because
Yep.
again, this is the only problem with this guy is in battle. It's your opponent's monster that loses 1500 attack.
Okay.
If it was, you can target your monster and it gains 1500, it would be a little bit better, but then the only problem is it wouldn't work with things like the field spell where you can't be targeted by effects.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
But again, this guy is. He was at 3 in my original deck, but now I put him down to 2.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the inclusion of the new level 7 with Ashuna,
Yeah.
there's another option in it. So having 3 more of these, I've taken 1 out of this, and I've taken another 1 out of this.
Okay.
Possibly go back to 3 of this, only because this one stops your monsters from being targeted,
Yeah.
and you can negate the activation of the card that targets them and destroy it, which is really good. It's better than most cards where you get negate and that's it. The fact that it negates and destroys is a lot more easier. And again, having these in the grave is good, because you can have a set amount of this, and then your opponent's got these 2 to deal with in the grave.
Yeah.
So if you've got these 2 in the grave, they're like, okay, I've got to somehow destroy this card twice, because this can come out, interrupt my plays, this can interrupt my plays, which is handy. I've gone up to 2 Mare.
2 Mare. Okay.
2 Mare. Only because I was starting to find that sometimes I was putting into a dead draw with it. And now that the deck is more synchro orientated, it's just an instant Yangzing Yahtzee, which is a helpful card.
Yeah.
I love this card. Needs to be in a super.
So how do you find it at 2 though? Because I know, like, as a one-of, it's really bricky, but
Yeah.
that's because you normally you want to summon it from there.
Yeah.
I guess by having 2, you mitigate some of that, because you should have another copy.
Yeah, you should have. And that's
Do you
good.
find though that it does brick you with this?
No,
having
not at
this?
2 anymore. No, it used to brick me a lot more at 1.
So when you have 1, you just open it. every time.
I always used to open it up and like, oh, God damn. Because you can have moments where you've got your cast to send to the grave, so you've got your Foolish, and then you've got Tenyi, they've got their own Foolish Burial.
Sure.
And sometimes even just a deck fin to send 2 to the grave is better than sending another monster.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I love this guy. He's just so helpful.
I mean, it's insane once, like, if you resolve it and go
Yeah.
through the whole play.
I mean, the good
nuts.
thing is you can get him out with a Shaman, you can special summon it, summon a token, summon another token, make a Linkuriboh one of your tokens, then use your other 2 tokens and the Linkuriboh to make the big Link free Tenyi, which is a 3k monster that your opponent's staring down, which is pretty nasty. And then my little spicy tech is this guy.
Okay, yeah. I remember you coming to me trying to pick
Yeah.
these up when I cracked that box. So
This
talk
guy,
to me about
this.
this.
Guy's fun.
So he's a worm.
He's a worm, and the generators in general are pretty good for kind of working with the different types. Like the plant one is ridiculous. I've taken that into my Arrow Mage deck that I made up, because having a free add to hand is good.
So out of curiosity, just a little bit of a sidestep here. So on the generators, do you think they're better in separated into like little engines?
I think they are.
Rather than like a pure thing.
Yeah, they're a weird one. They sort of remind me of the elemental. I can't remember what they're called, but like you had Windrose and you had Moon and Glacier.
Oh yeah.
Who as a set couldn't work together, but you put them in your own. Like Moon and Glacier was amazing in Abyss
Yeah, of course.
for a while, and yeah, I think that. I mean, they can be used fine. I've not faced any generators. I've not seen them play, so I can't be 100%.
But you know it works well with
But
this.
I know that they work. This works well with this, and then like the plant one works well, and I know the zombie one is really good for zombies. But this guy is you can only control one Nidhogg, so you can only control one of these guys. But that's the same with all the generators. If your opponent would special summon a monster, quick effect, you could tribute 1 generator monster or 1 worm monster. Negate the activate summon, and if you do, destroy that monster. Which is always handy.
Yeah.
And you're always going to have, because every single card in the main deck, other than the hand traps, are worm.
And that's easy enough to summon.
And it's easy enough to summon because you can summon him out with this, or you can send.
Oh, okay,
send
yes.
the grave
You've got like
and
a second option. So
Yeah.
worst case scenario, you lose your Mares, you've got another way to play with Yazzie.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice because
So-
it means you can always resolve
Yeah.
Yazzie as well.
And this guy, if you send this to the graveyard, you can special summon it with this
Oh,
because
sweet.
this locks you to only using Tenyi monsters effects from the extra deck.
Yeah.
So you can send this, special summon it. You got a 2/6 wall that's stopping this special summon, and then you can just tribute this off if you need to.
Yeah. And then go down the lines.
But yeah,
Okay.
I have found one issue that sometimes, couple of times I've opened both these, and then I've gone, okay.
But I mean, that's the risk you run.
But
Any kind of, I mean, even to be fair, even the top decks have issues with.
Yeah.
That
like,
still happens.
A random text sometimes comes up, and it's like, oh, okay, this is an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, this card's been really, really good because you drop it on the field. Opponent don't normally know what it does. Picks it up, reads it, and goes, oh no, they've got a special summon stopper.
Yeah.
So you can have this on board. You can have all your Tenyi protection in your grave as well, and then it kind of can cause your opponent to rethink, and they've got to work around the special summoning stop. They've got to work around the destruction effects in the grave, and yeah, like this deck is very good at longing games out and just causing your opponent to go through resources to try to get to them.
Yeah.
And at least the good thing about this deck is if they do end up going through all their resources, you can sort of build yourself back up if you lose yours because of the effects in the grave. And that can activate.
Okay.
And then one Destrudo because Synchro deck.
Yeah.
Destrudo's good, and again, it's an instant ERC monster.
Yeah.
So that's good for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Free Ash, playing free common because when this deck first came out, it was common and rares and horrible cards, and I thought, you know what, I'll play common.
That's his excuse.
But now, yeah, and I can't be able to afford it. But now
You
I'm
know
going
what?
to be picking up.
Does the same job, right?
Yeah, does the same job. I see it more than what I used to when I had Secrets. When I had Secrets, I'd never see it. I always see this. And it's a free Ash.
Doesn't need any explaining, I
No,
suppose.
and it's a tuner as well.
Same with the Effect Veiler.
Free Veiler, same reason, no explanation, tuner. Yeah, so that's the monster count. Play more monsters than Spell and Traps.
Yeah.
But it's just good having these because they can activate in graveyard and in hand. You've got so many options to run it. So I know some decks do play like Desires and things like that with this, but I tend to not because
You like access to everything,
yeah,
right?
I like access to everything, and because they do recycle and just bring themselves out a lot more, especially with Ashuna.
Yeah.
I know, like most of the decks, you only play Desires if you're playing 3 of each copy, which I do most
Yeah,
of them.
of course.
But I just want them in deck.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then on to Spell and Traps. Probably the best Tenyi card, in my opinion.
Yep.
Which is a Foolish Burial for the first effect for a worm monster. So you send either your Tenyi or you send your Nidhogg or your Mare. And if that goes through and you've got an on-effect monster you control, you can then add one to hand. So you add a Tenyi to hand.
Okay, that's pretty
Which
good.
is nice. So you send like your Nidhogg and then you'll add a Tenyi to hand, ready to make your plays. Then you can make your Worm, your Shaman play to get your Nidhogg out.
Okay.
Or you can send your Mare, get ready to start making your Berserker plays and your Borrowloads. Yeah, this card's ridiculous. The fact that it's a Foolish and a Rotor for the
Seems
deck
really nice.
is really, really nice.
Yeah, fair.
Then the other Tenyi card is the Field Spell.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, really, really good again. So to me, it's like it's a fairer maxi.
Yeah.
So all non-effect monsters on the field are unaffected by monster effects. Does count your own as well, which is a bit of a problem. So if you've got the Nidhogg, you've kind of locked yourself out. But like I said before, you either go to the kind
One
of
route
effect
or the
monster
other.
phase, or you go to the other route.
Sure.
And then you've got kind of like cards to destroy.
Yep.
And then once per turn, if your opponent special summons an effect monster while you control a face down monster or non-effect monster, except during the jam step, you can draw 2 cards.
Sure.
And that's nice. To draw on your opponent's turn and to draw on your turn is always nice. And again, it allows your opponent to stop.
Yeah, it forces them to
Forces them to kind of rethink what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Terraforming for that.
Yeah.
Monster Reborn
It's Monster Reborn.
because Monster Reborn. Foolish Burial
Yeah.
because Foolish Burial. And that's it for the spells. And then traps are on one of this guy.
Yeah.
Which is normally my game winner.
Yeah.
Because you play Skill Drain, most of the meta go, oh, okay, this is an issue.
Well, it's like the old school skill drain decks, right? You can summon a lot of stuff from your hand and
Yeah.
things like that with big attacks and defenses, and then effects doesn't matter if they're switched off.
No. And that's a good thing about these, that my monsters aren't really bothered.
Yeah.
So I'll have a non-effect monster, this will be in it, and then the Tenyis in the grave and in the hand could still do their stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And they can still... And also, it's the same ruling with this guy.
Yeah.
He's unaffected by it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Contributes to stop. So yeah, I've had that before. I've had a big board and then had this guy out and I've been like, okay, that's fine. So for example, if I've got this this board and then I've got this out and I have a non-effect monster, obviously I can't target the non-effect monster. I can target the top.
Yeah.
And this is unaffected by the
Yeah.
drain. It's the same old ruling with Stardust Dragon.
Yeah, of course.
Stardust Dragon contribute itself, and because its effect technically activates in the grave to negate it. But yeah, love this card. Always see it.
Skill drain.
To be fair, it's the one that wins me
insane.
games. Metaverse,
Yeah.
again, because
So
Field
fifth
Spell.
copy. And of course, the good thing, I suppose, is that the field spell does work in their turn as well. So
it
gives
works
you...
in their turn, so it gives you an option. And then most worm decks have
Yeah.
You can either have the worm type, or what I tend to do is just send the worm monsters to the grave and then get a +1. So send 2 Tenyi to the grave, get 3 cards in my hand. It's always nice.
Yeah.
Again, baits out ashes as well.
Yep.
Which is nice. Love this card. So my main deck is at 40.
Yep.
And that's it for that. But
Nice and tight.
the deck is interesting. Now it's a completely different route because I used to play the counter trap. Don't play it anymore.
Yeah.
As nice as it was to sometimes get out a massive Blue Eyes armor, which I tended to do. Like I'd always have an opponent pop a back row and it'd be the Unrivaled, and then you get your 3 Blue Eyes armor out, and that's always nice for them to stare down. But it became to a case where it was so situational, and the other thing that I didn't like about it was it didn't negate and destroy. It just negated, and to me, it's like if you
kind of want to get off the field.
Yeah, you want it gone. So now onto the extra.
Yeah.
Play 1 Draco.
Yeah.
This guy's ridiculous. So when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish it. If this attacking card destroys an effect monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, this card gains attack equal to the destroyed monster's original attack. Also, it can make a second attack against a monster during that battle phase.
Does it keep the attack?
It does.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it keeps recycling.
Okay, so tanks
and
up.
the good thing as well is you can bring it back from the grave if it goes. You can bring it back to the grave from this.
Nice.
Because it's a Tenyi monster.
Yeah, of course.
And it's a worm. But this card, yeah. My 2 go-to synchro cards tend to be these 2.
Yeah.
Because, Borrow, Load Savage, we know what it does. It's a similar effect, it can negate. But I can end on a board with these 2. And
that's 2 big boys.
And that
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
You can work your way around and you can get that, and then you've got 3 big boys. This guy can get bigger, this guy's unaffected by half the stuff in your grave. And yeah, it's just nice and nasty. Surprised this guy wasn't more expensive when he first came out. I thought they were going to make him a prismatic.
Yeah.
Because I thought they'd do that. I thought they'd bring out, because what did we have last time? We had the trap. And this time we've all got monsters and things. I thought they'd bring out a synchro version and then maybe a spell.
Yeah.
But we got this guy, which I was happy for, because when it first came out I think it was only like £7.
No, okay, that'll do nice.
So yeah, and I keep putting this guy after anyway, but yeah, really good card. Borrowed Savage as well.
Yeah, pretty
That's one of the other ones. My other level 8, is Scarlight.
Yeah, non-target destruction.
And also he doesn't affect the normal monsters on your field if you
got of course.
So yeah, I've been plenty of times where I've had either a monk or I've had my Berserker link out and then activate his effect. Doesn't matter about them, they stay.
Yeah, and then you just get to blow up all their monsters. Well, let's be honest, it's going to be all their monsters.
Yeah.
It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, it's like special summon everything.
Like this was in here instead of this, but then obviously now that I took out the Blue Eyes Ultimate, I had room to put another one. And then my 4th
Yazi
is Yazi.
That gets you anything, basically.
Gets me anything, yeah. Pops a card. You can pop itself, special summon the generator out, or you can special summon your Tenyis out.
I picked up an one of them today.
Did you?
Yeah.
I've been wanting to get one, but I've not been wanting to get one for the price. yeah. I remember I had like a playset of Ultis when they first came out, and they were beautiful. Secret's alright, but yeah, nothing's better than Ultis. Ultis the thing. 2 of the big boy.
What's his effect?
I think it's draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
If I remember rightly.
Maybe you get the Italian ones, you can just.
Italian ones, yeah. Draw 2 cards. Yeah. So this card is just your beat stick.
Yeah.
When you got your Tenyis in your grave, he's protected from them. He's protected by the field spell. He's a nice little card to have because again, half your monsters your opponent plays or your cards they play tend to target effect monsters. So if they've got imperms, they can't really do anything against you. They've got a wasted card. The other Tenyi I play is 2 of this. She was at 2 and then at 1, and then I keep going backwards and forwards. But now that there's a lot more plays to do, she's at 2. You could discard 1 card and target 1 worm monster in your graveyard, special summon it. The fact that it's just 1 card in general, doesn't have to be a 10, you could be any one, is really nice. And then again, this can bring out this from the grave. She does lock you, if you do special summon from the extra deck, she does lock you to Tenyis. Which can be an issue, but now that you've got more Tenyi support,
it's not so bad.
It's not so bad, and the Berserker is fun to have. And then this has also got the effect that if you've got a non-effect monster and it attacks, you can pop a card on the field, which is nice. One of this guy, which is one of the new ones as well. Again, I went from 2 to 1 to 2 to 1, but I've gone down to 1. Cannot be destroyed by battle with an effect monster if you control no other effect monsters. So again, if you've gone to the path of playing the non-effect monsters, get this guy out. You can have him out on the field, and you can also have the field spell, cards in the grave, and then you've kind of got a lock system where this can't be destroyed. And then, say you've got these two out, and this has got protection. It's nasty because you've got 2/6, and then this has also got the effect of. Sorry, the second effect is. So don't really use this card. You can destroy effect monsters your opponent controls up to the number of non-effect monsters in your graveyard and on the field, which is nice. So tends to be more of a late game thing, to be fair.
Which probably why it doesn't come up too often.
No, but I mean,
it's good to have
the way I go is I play 3 of the monk, and I tend to power through the monks anyway. These are probably gone by second turn, all 3 of them. So that would be 3 pops in your grave, regardless, and then possibly this guy's come out at this point. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pops, which is nice. Like destruction is always good to have. And yeah, 3 monk because it's the turbo of the deck.
Yeah, of course.
Non-effect again, just special summons with 1.
Get all your plays going.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. You tend to kind of make the plays, play this, go around it, bring out your Berserker, then you can special summon from grave or from hand, then start making your Shaman plays, bring out your Generators or bring out your Mermares, then start making more monsters. Really, really good. Love this card. And then one thing for Rebo, because level 1s can use the tokens for the Mermare. Oral.
Because OTK. Win button.
There's another link coming out as well in the set in March, which is the Tenyi one, which allows you to special summon a token, which is nice.
Okay, sure.
Another good thing I find about this deck as well is Nibiru doesn't really hurt it too much. Because I've had it where I played somebody, they've nibbed me, and I've got my field spell activated, and of course the token is non-effect.
Yeah, of course.
So you protect it, and you can special summon, and you can help. And this is for side deck play. For Super Volley.
Cool.
So that's it. It's been doing really, really well. Like the new version I played in 2 tournaments now. On 3-1 with both.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Which isn't too bad.
Yeah.
It does have its problems. Like, tend to find Rogue now affects it more because it's Rogue itself. But yeah, so the side deck comes into handy with that because I play 3 Cyclone.
Okay, run the side deck.
Yeah,
hopping up there.
You're popping up 3 Cyclone. Super Volley.
3 Super Volley,
Tank. Reboot.
Bang.
2 of this. And then 1 of this.
Okay, cool.
Only because I lost my third one.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
This is in for another target. For
on the off chance.
But yeah, no, the deck's fun. A lot better than what it was before. Having the extra option now to go backwards and forwards to synchros and have that kind of 2-way track helps, because it also means that when you're against one thing in the meta or you're against another deck, you can then
play
not worry.
Whichever way you need to.
Like, because other decks you play, they've got their big problems. They've got their deck that really causes them an issue. Whereas this one can kind of go around both sides. It's almost like having 2 different engines. But for the same archetype, it's a bizarre thing. But
quite interesting.
It works well.
Probably makes it quite interesting to play as well.
Yeah, it is. It's quite fun. And like I said, the good thing about this deck, it causes your opponent to think more when they play, which then probably causes them to misplay more because they're overthinking things. And also the fact that you can activate your cards in your hand, you've got that little bit of secrecy behind them, because they can be like, okay, you've got this in the grave, I can get over this, and then I can swing, but then you go, actually, no, I've got this in hand. Where I've had that before, I've had the blue girl, this guy, in hand, and then had the red guy in the grave, and they've gone, okay, need to get over the red guy, they've gone over the red guy, they baited me out, and then they've gone to attack, and then this has come out, banished, offset card, and then, yeah, what they've basically done is then I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah, the deck's fun. It's no means a top tier deck. It's rogue at best. But anything that can special summon from the hand and just generate stuff is always fun. But I enjoy it. I enjoy playing it.
Cool.
It's really, really fun.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to do the profile for us. Thank you for going into detail over the cards. So anyone who doesn't know what the deck does, they've got some more idea about that as well. Good luck getting the new cards that will help benefit it, and maybe we can get iteration number 3 coming up.
Yeah, it's literally just a link 4 that allows you to special summon a token. So that will only be playing 1 of it. Yeah, unless they bring out some other worm support or anything else, I think this deck's going to more or less stay the same.
Cool.
As it is. It doesn't need to change much more, in my opinion. I took some advice from people, took out the counter trap because it was just fricking too much, and yeah, it's working a lot better than what it did.
Okay, cool.
Because I think for the first couple of tournaments I played with the old style, probably the reason I was winning because nobody knew what they did, so people were underestimating, and then people kind of clocked on and were like, okay, this is what this does. But now that they've got the synchro option,
Gives you more to
it's
play
a lot
with.
better. Yeah.
Cool. Any shout outs before we go?
Yeah, shout out to the Bedford crew. And Close Encounters Bedford, people like Rob, Brandon, Kaden, that lot. Shout out to Manascrew as well for letting us use the space.
Yes,
and,
indeed.
Shout out to you, my friend.
Cool.
For the deck profile.
And thank you.
And the great content.
Excellent. Thank you very much again for taking the time to do the profile
Not
with
a
us.
problem.
Really, really appreciate it. If you haven't already, guys, please hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the garbage content I put together for you enough to hit subscribe and maybe even drop a thumbs up and a comment. Before you go, be sure to check out the links in the description to help support the people who are making this channel a possibility. Thanks again for checking in, and I'll see you in the next one.